It Happened on the Job, the podcast for relatable conversations with contractors. Sponsored by Goodman Insurance.
Welcome to It Happened on the Job. We are your podcast for relevant conversations with contractors. Hopefully a little entertainment for you as well. My name is Mike. That's Brian.
Hello.
We are episode 43 today. Jason Walsh of California Trusframe, VP of Sales and Marketing. Did I get all that right?
Correct, except for the relevant conversation.
Maybe.
It used to be relatable. That was relevant and relatable.
That's always
we've
debatable.
Settled, baby.
Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate you actually meeting us in person. It's nice to not do these via Zoom every once in a while.
Being, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So give us a little history, kind of how you got started in this industry. We're a little bit of a curveball here, right? Not a typical contractor, but we love bringing people on that are in the space as well. So how did you get started in this business and kind of the road to where you are now with Cal Trusframe?
All right, I'll give a pretty quick description
Quick
of
or
that.
long, we got all day.
I don't want to bore everybody to death either. I started when I was a week before my 21st birthday at a design company called Truss, or a plate supply company. Ended up going to a couple of other different truss plants in the meantime. Came out and went through the recession, came out of the recession, and those were some very difficult times for us, no question. Didn't know what a truss was when I first started. Had absolutely zero clue. I came from a shoe store into trusses. I always get that Al Bundy crap for that. But so I did that, and over the last 10 years, I've been with California Trusframe. Went back there out of the recession as a sales rep. Came in, kind of got my legs underneath me, started selling. Went into a sales management role, went into an operation general manager role, and over the last 4 years now, been the vice president of sales through the company. So we have facilities all over the state, and so we're working up and down all over the place.
So you guys is it mainly just wood trusses that you guys are doing?
So we do components.
Okay.
We do floor trusses, roof trusses, floor cassettes, roof cassettes, wall panels. So we'll send out and fabricate the parts and pieces for erection on job sites throughout the state.
So is it more, where do you guys see most of your business coming from? Is it like big commercial work that you guys
I'd say about probably 60% of our business is single family. Okay. 30%, and it's probably offsetting a little bit, but about 30% is multifamily, 30 to 35%, and then the remaining 5 to 10% is commercial or custom work.
Wow, very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. So how many contractors are you guys working with from?
I can't
roughly
put a number on it. There's hundreds.
3.
Yeah.
There's hundreds. Yeah, it's just one or two. They're really busy people. Yeah. No, we've got above 100 people that we work with or service in one way or another throughout the state. So
that's fun. So do you send anybody to job sites to kind of oversee how your components are installed, or is that all on the contractor to?
No, so we have sales reps that service the account. So I have different sales reps throughout the state, strategically placed to work with customers. And as our components are going out there, myself as well, and my regional Northern California sales manager will go out to job sites, kind of go out there, especially if it's a newer product. We want to make sure that things are going properly on the job site and be there to answer questions. And at the same time, if we can do something more efficiently, we absolutely want to hear it as it's going, so that way we can tackle it internally.
Yeah,
boots on the ground telling you. Yeah,
right.
Makes sense.
Right. So we do a lot of that. And we've been doing a number of job walks and visits with customers throughout.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what does your structure look like inside your facility or your multiple facilities? So what kind of employees do you guys have, or what is it?
The best.
Well, I mean, like, I hope so, right? So you guys is there one or two places where you guys fabricate all this stuff?
No, so we have a corporate office in Murrieta, California, which is Southern California. Right. Then we have 2 plants in Paris, which is in Riverside County. We call Paris 1, Paris 2. They're directly across the street from each other. One produces trusses. The other produces wall panels and floor cassettes, and can also do trusses if needed. We have a plant strategically placed in Central California, Fresno, Central Valley area. Yep. And then we have another one up in Modesto, which services our Northern California. So we have plants strategically placed up and down the state
to hit the entire state.
Yeah, and we go east. So we're starting to reach into the Reno market, Arizona, Las Vegas, etc.
And so how does it? I guess where do you guys get involved in the design portion? Are you involved in the design at all, or are you guys taking plans and just recreating 100%, or are you guys involved in the design tweaking at all? Or
so we don't recreate anything. We do value engineer projects, meaning that we can provide things that or identify things that are not going to work drawn per structural architectural plans.
Right.
So we do that as much as possible. It really depends on the type of project and the builder. Some of them do that a little bit earlier on to where they want to get somebody involved earlier on in that process. And so we'll go through and we'll put the truss submittals together and send them off for engineer and architectural review. If it's part of a design build process, we'll provide that information, but we're not the person that takes on the accountability of the building, of the structure.
Right.
We take the accountability of the trusses, taking on the loading that the engineer has laid out for us. But as early on as we can get involved in that, the better.
Yeah, but it's probably easier to kind of fix a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
sooner than later in the process.
And we have all the latest technologies in regards to 3D modeling and being able to work through our software company, and as well as Revit and Bluebeam and some of those other, not Bluebeam, but some of those other architectural and structural softwares that they use. Yeah. So,
wow, very cool. How involved are you in the hiring process? Are you hiring your sales guys? Do you have a team that kind of involves that, or what kind of guys are you looking for? I guess what I'm trying to say, are you looking for them with any kind of background specifically?
We go through a pretty nice process at our facility that most people in our industry don't. The initial thing that we do, if we're looking for production employees, whether it's production employees, design employees, sales, higher level managers, we put them through a bit of an orientation and a PI test originally,
right?
Just to gauge their thought process and the type of personality that they have, because we're trying to we restructured our culture after the end of 2015 internally to be more of a family-orientated type of company. We're big enough to be corporate, but we don't want that feel.
Small, yeah.
We're big, but we want it to still have the small time feel.
People to want to come to work.
We want their families to be happy that they come to work. We put on barbecues, and I can get into that specifics a little bit later. But our hiring process, that PI test is something that we really put a lot of value into, because it just gives you an outline of the type of person that you're going to hire and if they can take on that responsibility. So the information that you plug in of the criteria you're looking for in a sales rep, for example, it's going to tell you if it fits that person fits that bill.
Yeah.
So we go through that. We always do in-person test as well, or interview as well, just because I like to also be in front of somebody and you get an idea of just their personality, how they react, their body language, etc. So you can see so much on paper, and it helps. And at the same time, maybe you see something that'll stick out to you from that.
So are you seeing, especially in your sales guys, I guess, I mean, are they coming to you, or have some been more successful than others based on any sort of history in the construction space at all?
So I have some guys that I've been working with for 20 years in my career, and they're great sales guys. They have great relationships. They've known these people for years and years and years, and they're very knowledgeable in the product and the industry and what needs to be done for the project sites. And I've also got a transition type of thing that I have to, prepare for, to where technology is just as helpful as those relationships. So we're in a little bit of that thought process. Now, my sales guys right now are killing it. We're busier than we can imagine right now after this COVID thing that went on.
Yeah.
But as some of my sales guys, down the road may retire, I have to get people in that can use the iPads and get through the technology part of things. And it's not the napkin contracts, handshake at the bar, and we're good. So that's the world we're transitioning in, and that we're doing everything we can to stay ahead of that or on point with it.
So how are you guys finding business? I mean, are they walking job sites to talk to contractors about future work, or what's the process look like?
So right now I'm getting very heavily involved, and that's why I'm here too today, is in marketing and getting social media posts out there, doing stuff on LinkedIn. We're meeting with some other marketing and strategic people as well to kind of get an idea of how we want to exploit ourselves. Cal Truss has been around for 40 years, so we're not a new name to the industry.
People know who you are. Yeah,
right. What we're doing is really trying to promote more of our products. So it's always been trusses,
right? But
now that the industry is going more towards components with
modular
the walls, everything built off-site, so you can send it for somebody to erect. We're very engaged in doing that, and it's something that we're going to continue to pursue and elevate throughout the state. So
you guys are still developing different products and components and other things, or
some of these products aren't new,
right?
They just haven't got to California. Right. I'm part of the SBCA, so I go to different meetings throughout the country and talk with different component manufacturers, and a lot of them do this already. It's just new to this state. And this state has done a great job in framing, done a great job. There's no bashing whatsoever in regards to everything that's been done out here. We hold ourselves to a higher standard out here, to be honest with you, than I've seen in some framing in other states. Point is, though, is with labor shortages coming through, people are working in factories now, the Amazons of the world, that type of stuff. We have to compete with that too. So does a guy want to be out there climbing up on the third story of a building, swinging a hammer and cutting stuff? Or would you rather be working inside a facility, building the walls, and then just erecting them? So that's what we're getting to.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we talk to contractors all the time, and they express some frustration and those challenges with the labor shortages. How does that translate to you guys? Because, I mean, you basically have the same type of employees, right? I mean, they're erecting things. They're just doing it in a warehouse in bulk, right? I mean, are you guys seeing the same kind of thing with trying to find skilled labor to do that type of work?
Ours is a little bit different than in regards to what goes out in the field. First off, we don't have a guy tying off, like I mentioned a minute ago, from a 4-story building, could fall off the side of that thing. So everything in our facility is production savvy. So when my designer designs it and puts everything out and releases it to the yard, it goes through giant saws. And it twists the lumber, angles it, cuts it, puts all these packages together and says, here you go, start putting this together, as opposed to them having to pull out the saw, pull out the extension cords and all that other stuff. The risk gets reduced a lot.
Well, and you're building stuff flat, right? I mean, you're building a 4-story wall.
Correct.
On your feet. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. The other point to that...
horizontal with it rather than vertical.
That's it. Yeah. And then once you ship it to the site, you have to stand it, but you're standing it, nailing it off, drilling your holes in the first floor for your anchor bolts, and you're going. But the other point to that is to tell you kind of what we're doing to gain that labor is we always, as a company, have felt like if we want to poach somebody, we have to compete or not poach, but bring on somebody. We have to.
Little Freudian slip there, huh?
Yeah, we'll cut that one out. No, I don't. It is what.
No, it is. It's a business, right? I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
So what we'll do is, we offer Amazon type wages. Okay, if Amazon's at $2 above minimum wage, that's what we have to hire in at. There's literally an Amazon facility directly across the street from our facility in Paris.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. Okay. So we always try to stay ahead of that as well. And so we've done that. We did that before Amazon was here, but it really is something that if we want to get people and keep good people, first off, you're going to go through our process to come in, but at the same time, we're gonna pay you for that instead of trying to nickel and dime it.
Yeah, right. Because there's not as much, I guess, direct correlation with that field employee. Are you hiring guys with any sort of construction background, or can this be done by somebody who's competent enough and wanting to learn it?
It really depends on the position you're hiring for. There's certain times where we have the flexibility to bring somebody on and be able to train them because we know that they have some potential to do something. They just haven't had the experience or the opportunity to do it. We're doing that right now, to be honest with you. We have a a team in Vietnam right now that we're training to design. There's a facility that's set up there, and they bring them in from the just newbies, fresh, and they have schooling background, but they don't have drawing and erection and 3D model type of stuff. So we're doing that already in that realm of the world, in design. In production, it's not that much. It's not that hard to learn, but at the same time, you can get buried. Those guys that are out there in the yard, man, they don't play around. If you're holding them up, they're gonna bury you at the end of the line. So you better get on, or they'll weed you out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So there are those types of situations in regards to a sales part of what we do. You know, we do like to have some construction background, but it's not necessarily required. If you are adaptable to being able to learn what we're selling, but you have the I call it, the gift of gab. You can talk and listen too. Listening as a sales rep is just as important as being able to talk.
Yep.
So
100%.
You can get them to tell you what you want, but
you just gotta shut your mouth and let them tell you.
That's right. That's right. How do you get it out of them?
So any kind of fun, cool projects that that you guys have been a part of? Like any big, well-known places, historic stuff that. I guess maybe not historic, but I mean,
40 years.
Yeah,
historic is brick.
Yeah, right.
Actually, we're doing a giant job up in Northern California in the Bay Area called 200 Linden for Suffolk Construction. That job is really exciting. We've got a number of people looking at that job. We've got our plate and software manufacturer supplying cold form moment frames for that job that we were a part of putting together in the package. We're doing wall panels, and then there's floor cassettes going on that job as well. Our framer in Calavalo Construction has been very well organized in helping us get through that. So there's that. We're doing some modular buildings right now in Southern California that are getting shipped up to Lake Tahoe. So these are full package type of jobs. We're doing the floor cassettes, the wall panels, the trusses, doing the whole package of product that we're trying to get into in California. It's been kind of hard. So those are always nice to see those new types of things go out. But our other customers, KB Home, TWR, BSA, there's guys, Timberworks up in Northern California, RJR, et cetera. We do a lot of work and a lot of projects with a lot of good people. Wow. So, this year we're gonna do okay, and we had taken a little bit of a hit, but there's some great jobs going on out there.
Yeah. So, kind of speaking to that a little bit, how did I know you said you kind of been slammed lately? Now that things are, I would have said lifting, but as of yesterday, kind of shutting back down again. But hopefully not in our space. But how did you guys manage, the last 2 or 3 months through this social experiment that we've been in?
So the first part of the year, we started off the first quarter, and it was like, okay, let's go. It's starting. Let's rock. So we were ready.
I think everybody was doing that.
It was headed absolutely the right direction. Then obviously COVID hit. Mm-hmm. So obviously it was a learning curve for everybody. With the way our facility works, we're able to see so many things so much further ahead than most, if not all.
Yeah, because you guys are working so far out.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've worked for a number of truss companies, and we have the best scheduling program I've ever seen in regards to the work that goes on the schedule, being able to track the board footage of it, when it's going to hit the saws, what percentage it's complete. There's a number of. This thing it's a beast. It's absolutely phenomenal.
So you can go in and look at like how far along.
I can see that 4% or 40% of it's cut and 10% of it's built.
Wow.
It's very, very sophisticated.
Projects it out for you as far as when it's going to be finished.
And when it's going to be finished and so on. So the point to where I was going with that is, with COVID, we were able to see so many jobs if builders were moving them, and we have a team that calls to see where the job's going to be. We call a couple weeks before, a week before, and then the day before. Before it goes to the saws, are you sure you still want it? Before it delivers, are you sure you still want to deliver?
Sure, it's not anything that you can store anywhere, right? These are things that
we have acres of land, but you don't want it to sit there and twist and age and all that other stuff. So we go through a pretty rigorous process. Point is, we were able to make those calls, adjust the work on the schedule, and move it to where it's going to land. And so we were able to see our forecasts or what we were going to hit, and then we were able to see where it was going to go. So we saw the incline, we saw the decline, and we're able to see the month before, hey, we may need to do some layoffs.
Yeah.
That's never a fun conversation. We did very minimal, to be honest with you, for a company our size, but we were able to bring a lot of people back recently as well. So
yeah, that's cool.
So we did that. We engaged in temperature checks. We did quarantines. We had half of our staff working from home. So we did all kinds of necessary processes to ensure.
So you guys are seeing it kind of on the upswing now, moving things up.
Oh, there's no question right now. Yeah. The top popped off and we're buried. So we're doing.
Yeah, how do you deal with that at this point
especially when you
dealt with layoffs for a bit and then you limited production? Now
we're doing everything we can to hire back as quickly as we can.
And on the customer side too, just kind of. I mean, I gotta believe that they understand that everybody is at 110%.
Capacity.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear.
It's a delicate conversation. It's not the conversation you're having.
No, it's like if you go to McDonald's.
Where the hell
you go to McDonald's, there's 20 people ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
You want your burger. You don't care about theirs. Listen, we appreciate all of our customers' business and want to do everything we can that's right by them. With what I was discussing a minute ago, though, in regards to the way our schedule's set up, I may not be able to hit the date that you're asking for, but I can tell you the date you're going to get it.
Right. Yeah.
And so if you can work with the information I give you, then we're in a better spot than me saying I don't know.
Right.
And so that's something that we do probably better than most, in my
because
opinion.
of the systems that you guys are
That's correct.
utilizing. Yeah.
That's correct. So we're doing everything we can. We're trying to hire everybody we can and move things along.
So from a modular standpoint, I've recently seen on Amazon they're selling like home kits. You can buy these kits for home. Is that when you say you've got some modular stuff for residential thing? Is it full like ground up full home like you can walk into? Are you guys able to do all those components?
We don't do those components. So what we're doing is we're sending it to a customer, and then these modular homes are condos that are going to Lake Tahoe. But what we do is we send them the walls, the floors, the cassettes, the sheathing, the roofs. We send them all of the wood material.
Right.
They frame it in a warehouse, and then they put in the drywall, the insulation, the electrical, the gas, and they put the sink in there and those types of things, and then they ship it out.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's got to be fun to kind of see.
Yeah.
It is.
All come together like that.
I went there yesterday. I was like, wow, it's just unbelievable.
Up in Reno?
No, they're doing the fabrication down here.
Oh, down here?
And they're shipping it up there.
So what's the reason for doing it down here versus your Northern California facility? Just capacity? Or?
No, we're building it down here because the modular plant is down here.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So no, all good.
Get it all together.
No, it's pretty interesting too because it's really good to say, like, for us one of the benefits of us is the fact that we can design or build out of any facility. It doesn't matter.
Where you're at.
Where I'm at, I can do that. So I can design it down here and send it up there for them to build if that's where they need it next.
Yeah. So what's the marketing plan, or what's that strategy kind of look like for you guys? What's your next steps in trying to kind of move down that road?
Well, the best thing I could have done was come down in here and sit with you guys. I mean, I'm going to blow the freaking top off of this.
Our tens of listeners are going to love
this. No. It's gonna double.
You're welcome.
No, my thought is
we'll expect royalty checks.
There's no question. I can give you cash. I'll just flip that quarter right at you. No, so what we're trying to do right now, I actually have a meeting set up with my other managers that I'm going to be holding here in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully we can go to a bar after we have all these meetings, but I don't know if that's going to happen unless it's outdoors.
Yeah. Gotta be a patio bar.
A patio bar, that's right.
It's called field.
It's called the backyard.
Yeah.
So we're really going about and strategizing how we want to go about that. Obviously, social media is one thing, but at the same time, you have to really, in my opinion, you can read 10 of the same posts, or you can have one that stands out. And to me, That's something that I want to do and make sure that, hey, this is going to catch somebody's attention, not just scroll through.
Yeah.
Because I see that all the time. Jesus, I see it in my house. My daughter's just going through. Okay. That's not beneficial for anybody. So that's one thing. The other thing is we really want to show a big appreciation for our vendors, our customers, and do things for them. As we're gonna be putting on tournaments for them. We're gonna be holding dinners, doing trips, those types of things. Award ceremonies, like that's my next goal, to really show the type of appreciation that we have for them and anybody trying new products and really advertise ourselves. So we've had some people come out to some of our job sites, flying over with drones, putting those types of videos together, just quick promotions. You don't want to get too lengthy,
right.
But doing those types of things to really just showcase not just our company's abilities, talents, the direction we want to go, but also show the people that have been with us for so long and the people that are buying into the new wave of what's going on in the industry. Appreciation.
Right.
So that's my my year and a half goal here, because, well, I should say my next year's goal, because 2020 doesn't exist.
Jeez, yeah.
At least it's already halfway over.
I
It
know,
feels
right?
like it's been May 78th.
Stuck on repeat.
God.
So do you see, what's the plan for you guys from a company standpoint as far as
I was just
growth
thinking
or
that, long term?
Well, that's it.
New components or just more?
It's really getting the components that are available off the ground, and I
more
mentioned
about
this.
saturation of your current components rather than developing anything new.
Wall panels and floor cassettes are not new to the industry. They're just new to California. So we have a couple of competitors throughout the state that are doing the same type of marketing that we are for these same type of components. Now some of them do it a bit more drastic than I would. I don't want to beat somebody over the head and tell them they're stupid.
But I will.
But if I have to,
No. But I'll let you.
yeah.
We want to provide a product. We want to provide a service that's going to help our customers and help our customers' customers. Our customers want to see innovation. They want to see things differently in a house built possibly more efficiently, less waste, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't want to be my customer's competitor. I want to be a resource for my customer.
Right.
When his customer wants him to do something. So that's what we're doing. We're opening up, building these components so that way when they need them, we can supply them. And at the same time trying to talk them into the benefits of it. There's no question there, but there's a way of doing that, and there's a way, in my opinion, of not doing that.
Right.
So that's the direction that we're trying to go right now, is really continue to service the market with components that they haven't necessarily utilized throughout the state.
Yeah.
What's just kind of doubling back, knowing where you're going, what's the history in terms of, we're bucking tradition in a lot of ways in terms of the construction of these homes. Where did this trend begin? I mean, I kind of have my own anecdotal thoughts on that, but you are obviously in the business and seen it. When did this, was it when customers started pushing for that? Was it...
It's when builders started pushing for it.
They were looking for innovation in terms of ways of building.
Yeah, and there's some really big companies from different countries that have come into the United States as well, and that's what they just have always done in these other countries. So when they're bringing this thought process to the States, which is great. And so with that, they're discussing that with the builders, the owners of these projects. So
saying, hey, we've done it like this. You got to think about doing it this way.
Right, and being more efficient. And so it starts with those guys, and then they bring it down into the framers, the guys that are installing.
Yep.
And then it trickles down to us in regards to supplying it.
Wow.
Very cool.
I mean, just the whole modular part just blows my mind. Or not necessarily modular, I guess, but the component piece of it of so much being shifted off-site.
Well, it's really unbelievable, and I welcome you guys to come to our facility if you ever are bored and You guys are more than welcome to do that. It's if you guys are ever interested in doing something like that. It's in I've always opened that door to any one of our customers or the builders. We include, all the blocking, all the necessary things that would go into a wall that they would do on site. For the most part, we just include it in there and it ships out. So it's really a matter of the upfront coordination, which is a lot of people don't necessarily want to get into that, or they can't get the RFI. So it's really a different mindset of getting ahead of the job as quickly as you can.
Right.
What's the biggest kind of component you guys, from a capacity standpoint, are able to put together? How big a wall or how big a truss? Or
it's anything we can fit on a trailer. So our trailers, 12. You want to go 12 feet wide, long, and then you can extend off the trailer, off the back. Yeah. But when you get wider, then you have to do special permits and everything else. And those
flag cars and all that.
Right, we're capable of that, but we'd prefer to not do that if we don't have to. So we can break it up into different sections, though, to where you get the pieces to make up that bigger area. Right.
So is it obviously condos, single family? I'm assuming new tract kind of development. Is that
Our biggest categories of projects are single family tract homes and multifamily. Yeah. So I classify condos as a multifamily, even though it's not a giant multifamily.
Right.
Yeah. But as far, we're doing projects in LA and San Francisco that are 3 city blocks big. These things are 500 units. So you can do the smallest house or the biggest project.
So with that software that you guys are using that gives you a breakdown of how far you are into the project and end date or whatever that particular piece is going to be completed, how accurate is that? So when you're talking to a customer and you're saying, like, for instance, COVID's happening or it's done or it's back on, whatever, but if you're talking to a customer and saying, hey, I will have this done by September 5th, is that like 90% accurate? Assuming everything kind of goes to plan?
It's interesting you ask that, because I can make an argument either way.
I know there's a lot of variables in that mix. I'm just saying, let's say that the architect has come in, he's laid out the plans, and everybody's a go.
If it's Nat's ass, if it
no, we're explicit. So you're good.
Well, dang. Let me
let it fly.
Let me open up then. Let me not hold back.
Contractors. We have contractors.
If everything is absolutely dialed in the plans and I have a designer assigned to it, I'll absolutely hit the date. If I have an influx of work and this job doesn't start till January 2021 and this job starts in August, I've got to start on the one in August. But the point is it's not the RFI process right now is somewhat rigorous, because you have to go through so many steps to get an answer. And I completely understand it. I'm not knocking it one way or another, but it is a process.
Tedious,
so it seems a bit tedious, but it is what it is. So we deal with that. We work with that. But as far as our efficiencies and hitting our percentages, I'd say in the 85% range that we can hit.
That's awesome. So when you're actually speaking, and my point and my thought process is when you're actually speaking with your customer, assuming everybody's transparent and knows everything that's going on, they know that they're going to get their product when they've
The one thing that we always try to do is, if we're not going to hit a deadline, we always try to let them know before the deadline.
Yeah, that's good business practice.
Right.
Yeah. Because that happens. It happens in every industry,
There's
in
no
every
question.
market. Yeah.
No question.
Because we're human.
Yeah, and we're human too, and sometimes we forget to tell them. But
or you have
we
3
do
change
most
orders.
of the time.
Yeah.
What's the the timeline on actually like a production of a 10 home tract, like, and all the components?
Our facilities are monsters, absolute monsters throughout the state. Speaking to our Paris facility, in terms of we do everything out of board footage. So if we're talking about board footage being able to be built out of a facility, we can do about 100 to 120,000 board feet a day out of that facility.
So translate that to me. How many houses is that?
A house is in the area, let's say a house is 5,000 board feet.
Okay.
That's trusses.
Right,
Okay.
right,
So we can do, that's a lot of houses.
Yeah, that's, 5,120.
It's about 20 something houses a day.
So.
And again, it depends on setup, depends on how, if it's an easy house or if it's an easy building, et cetera, et cetera. But that's how much we're able to
pumping them out, man.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys operating at that kind of efficiency or that kind of capacity all the time, or is that just like that's max capacity?
No, Matt. We could get up in the neighborhood of 140, probably 150 per day. But it's really a matter of putting on more shifts, more guys, and more manpower. So that's it out of our Paris facility, and that translate. We also go by board foot per man hour. So per man, we're in company wide, we're in between the 95 and 100 range of board foot per man hour. So we keep very close eye on all of those things, and we bonus accordingly to it too. If we have guys that are knocking it out of the park in production and they hit their board footage per man hours, and they have the efficiencies through the quality checks, they get bonuses.
So most of your guys, I would imagine you're trying to keep them in teams where they can kind of like work together and really know what everybody's doing.
That's correct.
Probably makes it more
We
efficient.
have automated screens above our tables too. They can see everything computerized. They can see the time it takes them to build the truss. The minute that truss hits the table, they can see the clock ticking, and so they can get an idea on the screen, and they can zoom into it, see if they're what goes where, what angle. Sets up the pucks set up on the tables as well, the wizard tables, so that way they can place the board up against it and move right along. It's pretty awesome to see. And our design team, while they probably get the biggest brunt of things, just because they have a lot to go through when they're putting together a job. So at the same time, we can't appreciate them enough. Those guys out of our Paris facility, they're releasing anywhere from 800,000 to 900,000 board feet a week for.
Jeez. Just.
That's
crazy.
one facility.
Yeah. And you guys are still seeing it. I mean, from a construction standpoint, you're still seeing work for the next couple of years. I mean,
so
people.
It's through May, through March, April, and May. Actually, end of March. Everything kind of went to a halt.
Right.
We had work on the schedule, and some of the job sites that stayed open, we continued to build and service and send work to. There was not a lot of new contracts during that time frame because
nobody knew
what was going on. And builders who would sell homes on weekends, open house, those things weren't open anymore. Yeah. So they had to rethink their strategy as well. They started doing virtual tours. Then they had to set up specific appointments if somebody liked it. Their closure rate went up because they didn't have the foot traffic.
Right. Yeah.
But they also didn't have the foot traffic.
Right.
So with that said, when you might have had an 8-house release, it became a 3-house release. And they had to reevaluate their strategies. But the point is once things started opening up, and even people just getting bored at home, they had more time now to research a house that they might have been wanting to buy.
Yeah.
So the flip side to that is people had more time to really look into to making a move or moving, looking to buy a new house. So right now, things have seemed to really open up. People have, and then the gorilla in the room is our lumber prices keep going up. So with lumber prices that keep going up based off of supply and demand, people are trying to lock in numbers now because they don't want to take the increase 2 months down the road. Yeah. So it is a crazy balance. In the winter months, you're sitting there beating your head against the damn desk, saying, where am I going to go with some work? And in the summer months, you're beating your head against the same damn desk, saying, how am I going to get all this shit out? And it's Groundhog Day. And everybody thinks, well, how can we figure this out? We can't. It's Groundhog Day. It's just going to happen again and again and again. But it's we're
nature of the beast, right?
We're gluttons for pain, I guess.
Yeah. So how far out are you guys seeing projects come to you? Do they have a date on them when you guys first see them? Sure.
So single family, typically those types of jobs, when we contract those, they're going to ship within 3 months. Okay. So that's track work. Those are the big builders, the Hortons, the Lennar, KB, etc.
So do you get plans and do you get are you involved in the process before that 3 month, or do they just know?
No.
Hey, California Trusframe, they can get us to us in 3 months, so we're gonna start at 3 months, or do you get it a year in advance and say, hey, this is we're trying to build these in July of 2021. Here's kind of.
It's all different, to be honest with you. For example, we have some builders that will have us draw the calcs before the job's even gone out to bid. So we'll draw them so they can get their submittals and their permits through the building departments. Yeah. So that's one scenario. Yeah. The other scenario is they give us the plans to bid, and truss calcs have not been done, and we'll get those taken care of. We'll get a bid done and send that off. Once they're ready to contract, they may contract it, and then we've got to provide truss calcs within 2 weeks, and they give us a delivery date. So that's the way it would work on the single family part of that world. Those are the two different scenarios. Then you have the multifamily, which could be the same scenario. They could ask us to draw the calcs ahead of time, and typically, that's more rigorous because it's just a bigger job. It's a giant. Yeah. But we've done that. We do that, and we love doing that for anybody who wants us to. The point is, on the multifamily, what we've had to do, and we had to really reevaluate in 2018 when we saw the highest lumber market we've ever seen, was we've always had contractual terms of how long we were going to hold a project's price. But if lumber was only going up 1 or 2%, strategically going up, let's split the difference, or you can, we're going to perform well on this job, keep it, et cetera, et cetera. In 2018, from a month to a month and a half span, lumber went up over $100 a thousand, which I don't know if you guys understand the terms of that, but it went up 7 to 10%. And this was a job that I bid 6 months ago, so it might have even gone up
12 to
15%. Yeah. Well, those are business killers. Yeah. Especially with the type of volume that we do. We do 80 to 90 million board feet a year.
Yeah. Losing that on 1 or 2 jobs is not a big deal, but
right. So we had to reevaluate, and it wasn't. I don't want to say if it's popular, but it's never a fun conversation to have that conversation and say, hey guys, we can't hold this price. Yeah. It's expired.
Yeah.
And we've had those conversations, and what we established in that time frame, and never to put ourselves in that position again, is asking the customer up front, when is this job going to go? So that way, if it doesn't go for 8 months, I know when I bid it, I need to put 8 months of coverage on it.
Right.
And maybe put an adder, maybe leave it, maybe whatever. But I have the information in front of me, and then I put that on my contract now. Yeah. As opposed to just having 90 days of coverage, and then next thing you know, you want it shipped in 10 months. That's not going to win for either one of us.
That's crazy.
So it was a tough learning experience.
Yep.
Wasn't very popular at that point. But it was just something we had to do for our business and our employees, because you don't want to close the doors in 6 months either.
Right. Yeah.
It's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool. Well, any fun stuff before we close up? Anything
fun, weird, crazy, entertaining?
Anything that you want to throw at our listeners before we wrap it up?
I don't know. I'm having a 4th of July party this weekend.
Are you really?
Hell yes.
I thought we were having one right now.
This is. I haven't put my vodka in here yet.
Are you sure that might be vodka?
That's it. Yeah. No, actually, we all know Coachella, right?
Yeah,
Coachella Festival. Well, that got canceled this year, so I put together a list and sent out to a number of people. I'm having a party called Freedom Cella at the end of my block. I've got it starts Friday night. I've got people bringing tents. They're setting up tents in my yard, in my backyard. I'm going to have
I can't imagine you live in like a tract home then, right?
I do. I live at the end of a cul-de-sac.
But he's at the end of the cul-de-sac, so he's got padding on all that margin of people that are cool. That's that one random neighbor that's all freaky.
I'm having a DJ tomorrow. I'm having a band come Saturday.
Jeez. Blowing it out.
Having cornhole tournaments going on.
This is like a festival.
Yeah.
I've got some little people showing up.
I would imagine you probably are getting pretty popular after yesterday's news of everything.
Yeah, everybody's not going.
I'm going to charge admission now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Put a barricade at the beginning of the street.
Yeah. So it's going to be a three-day little festival going on in my house. I've got, and then Sunday we'll have some brunch and check in, check out. Check-ins at 5 on Friday. Check-outs 11 on Sunday. So,
That's awesome.
I don't know. That's the quickest thing I could come up with.
No, that's good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very cool.
It'll be an amazing extravaganza.
Yeah, we'll
of shenanigans.
Hopefully, we're not reading about it in the news.
Hopefully you are.
Yeah, by the time this launches,
Hopefully you are.
Jason Walsh.
Yeah, if I can get on some type of live stream on CNN or something like that, that'd be pretty nice.
That'd be a good time.
Like the movie Project X. I don't know if you guys seen that. Watch that movie. It's good.
Very cool.
So, that's
we
all.
appreciate your time, man.
You guys as well. I really appreciate you guys having
Thanks
me.
for coming out. Let everybody know where to find you. All your social media.
Yeah,
your
website.
Yeah,
website.
CaliforniaTrusframe.com. You can see me on LinkedIn as well, Jason Walsh. We've got people at our office that are doing things on LinkedIn as well. Facebook, we're on that as well. And then you'll start seeing us a little bit more as we go. So,
Perfect.
Very cool.
Well, thanks so much for the time.
I appreciate your guys' time. It was great to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for
It was
jumping
good
on.
times.
Cool.
Very cool. All right, man. Have a good one.
You as well.
Hey, thanks for listening. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and give us a like or 5 stars or whatever means you like us.
Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. And check out our website for more video content and extras.
While you're there, shoot us a message if you want to be a guest. We'd love to have you on.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.